Hi guys, it's Shar. Welcome back to my channel, Craftin' Up a Storm. Today I have some more farmhouse inspired projects for you, and all of them are thrift flips. So hopefully this inspires you to shop your local thrift store and hopefully gather some materials to make some farmhouse inspired projects for your home decor. Let's get crafting.
For this project, I picked up a cute little standing sign from the secondhand store for $1.99. At first, I thought it was an insert, but it's painted on. So I did take off the metal holder on the front. I really didn't need to because I just made an insert to put over the top. I love the color of this, the washed out gray, so I don't really want to paint it or change it. I'm just going to zhuzh it a bit. So I got out my favorite ribbon. I bought this at Home Depot in their craft section a while back. It's lasted quite some time, and I like to use it to cover the edges of my frames. It's like a very light colored burlap. I cut a strip that's going to be the same width as my frame, and I put it around the outside. Now for my insert, I want to use these Dandelion transfers from Dollar Tree. I don't usually care for gold, but I thought these were so pretty. I did try it on a dark background, and I liked it. It just didn't quite go with this frame. So now I'm going to do it on a lighter colored background. I had some watercolor paper, so it's not quite completely white, and it's a little rough. But I'm using it to rub my dandelions on. I'm kind of cutting it up and piecing the stems and the dandelions together at the height I need. And I'm just going to really rub it in. I want to make sure to get all of it in on this textured paper. And I'm just going to continue to rub some dandelions down in different patterns. This is all I did for this sign. Very easy, just rubbed on those transfers, and I'm going to slide this into the insert. I added a ribbon from Dollar Tree. When I went to go add it down, I realized I wanted the corners to stay. So I did go back and just do a little tack right around the corners because I didn't want it to slide forward or slide off. But I didn't need a lot of glue around it. I just tacked it down. Then I went back and added I put the insert in, and then I went back and added a bow to the top. And that was it. Very simple for this project. I just loved the color of this little piece. I thought it was very rustic already, so I didn't need to do a lot to it. You can do whatever you want in the insert. A little farm animal silhouette would be really cute and make it very farmhouse. but it's perfect for a tiered tray. Just understanding sometimes you don't have to do much to a piece. It just ends up being exactly what you need it to be. I found this cute little farmhouse style planter. The label says $2.99, but I paid half price for it. And again, it's perfect just the way it is. So all I want to do is add a little something to it. So I picked up these transfers again at Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to put Farmhouse right on the top of it. I don't need to break this up. It's just a perfect size for my planter. So I'm going to just pop that right onto it. Again, the texture's a little rough, so I do want to make sure that I get it in all of the wood and really rub it down good. But it's very easy and it goes down. And if it doesn't go down perfect, it just kind of adds to the rustic look of it. Now, I thought this needed just a little something else, and I went through my stash for a lot of things. And in the end, I just ended up doing a very simple, small jute twine bow. It matches the handles on the sides and just added a little something extra in the middle. For the back side, I thought I'd make it so that I could turn it either way, and I did pick this drawer pull up at the dollar or at the thrift store as well. I think it was maybe $1.99 in a bag of several. So I just popped this on the other side. I thought it was kind of cute. And I just made an insert for it. That way I can change it out whenever I want to. Now I added some floral styrofoam, glued some moss to the top, and just used a boxwood. Broke it up along with these blue farmhouse style flowers from Dollar Tree. The boxwood I picked up at Walmart. And I just added until I had the amount that looked right for me. Once again, sometimes you find something that's just perfect the way it is. This is probably one of my favorite projects. I picked up a set of 3 of the flat canvases, and I found these rulers at the secondhand store. They're labeled 99 cents, but I paid half price. So I picked several of them up, and I want to cut them apart and put them on this canvas, but it has a little bit of a veneer on it. So I did take my sandpaper and went ahead and tried to just rub that off because I want to color them. I took my markers and I just added some color to the top of it. Wasn't really worried about it being smooth. It does kind of go over a bit streaky. I don't want it to be perfect anyway, so I'm not real worried about it. A little bit of that veneer's left in some places. But I covered it up and then I spritzed it with some alcohol. These are alcohol markers. And that allowed me to kind of rub it in a little bit. It does rub a lot of it off, but it smooths it out a bit as well too. Makes it look more like a stain. And then I even went over the top of that and sanded it down a little bit just to distress it and make it look very old and worn, like it was originally that color. I did that with several different markers and different colors, just alternating. I also used some of these stain pins from the Dollar Tree. Those work just the same. I spritzed the alcohol on and did the same thing. Once I had all my pieces that I wanted and I had laid them out, I'm going to glue them down. And I did this kind of upside down just because the bottom of the ruler is a little bit thicker than the top. So it was easier to do it upside down. I got them all laid out and I love all the colors, but I do want to unify this just a little bit more. So I'm going to take some of my antique wax and just rub it across the top of all of it. This puts a veneer over all of it that matches and makes them all look like they're about the same age, and it unifies them quite a bit. And then I just wipe it off. You'll notice I went up for the top layer and down. I couldn't fit just exact layers on there, so I did start off the top about half my ruler and on the bottom as well too. I put a layer of glue at the very bottom row of rulers, and I'm going to glue some tumbling tower blocks onto the back as a stand. I added an extra bead of glue to make sure that those blocks stayed in place. And then because it was tall, I put one more block out. So I used a total of 3. Now I want to do a little clip on the front. So I picked up this Dollar Tree chalkboard clip and I started to glue it down, and I realized I want to use these words on the front and they're black. I can't use it on the chalkboard. So I popped the top of it off and flipped it over and sanded it a little bit. And now I'm just going to put one of these word transfers on, and I chose home. And I put that down, and now I just want to distress this to match. So I'm going to rub a little of that antique wax all over it and really wipe it in. And I'll just pop that back on the top of that clip. And I think that matches well. For my frame, I did also do a little sprig of those blue flowers as well. Just tied some twine around the top and I slipped that into my frame. You can put a picture in it. You can do a saying. You can do whatever you would like, but it came out cute and I really liked it. Great teacher presents as well. This project couldn't be any easier. I picked up this really great polished wood round at the secondhand store. It says $4.99. I paid half price. And I just turned it over. I also picked up these wood napkin rings. I think they were $1.99 for 2. I wanted 3, so I used part of each package. And I just put some E6000 on the bottom so that it was a really good bond. And I spaced them out in a triangle on the bottom and made feet. That's all I did for this one. Once again, found something just perfect that matched. So I love this project as well too. I picked this barn shelf up for $3.99 at the Goodwill. And it's cute. I like it a lot as is. I just didn't need a shelf. And the barn is a little too cartoony for me, so I did take the shelf off the front. I'm sure I'll use that separately somehow. And I decided just to paint the barn completely white. So I went over it with probably 3 coats of the chalk paint. I wanted to make sure you couldn't see any of the lines underneath, and I think 3 coats did it just fine. Once it was completely dry, I decided to embellish it. I had this little rooster from the top of a Dollar Tree sign that I used, and I'm going to turn it over, and on the white side, I'm just going to apply some of that antique wax. I also taped off the top, and I'm going to antique wax the roof of my barn. And I had this little round from another Dollar Tree picture. I also found some wood grain transfers that I thought I'd try out, and these Farmhouse transfers. So I put the wood grain transfer down first, and it came out really cute. And I'm just going to pop down a little saying from this Farmhouse transfer. Family is everything. And the transfer went right on top of the other transfer just fine. I put my rooster down at the top of my barn, and now I want to pop this little oval piece on. I want it to stand up a little bit, so I did put it on a tumbling tower block. And then I am going to glue that block down. I also have these, I believe they're called silver dollar greenery from Dollar Tree. And I'm going to kind of make a swag for the bottom of the barn. And so I just kind of attached 2 of them together, and I glued that down. And now over the top of that middle where the glue is, I'm going to pop just a simple burlap bow. I just put 2 like layers on top of each other and left the little tails, and now I'm twisting a floral wire piece around the middle. And then I'll take a small piece of that ribbon and kind of fold it into a loop and cover that middle up. And glue that loop down over the top. This is how I make loopy bows. I'm sure there's an easier way, but it tends to work for me. And I just popped that on top of the glue where I glued those leaves down. And that was my barn. I like the simplicity of it now. Here's all of my thrift farmhouse makeover. Let me know which one you like best in the comments below. I truly love bringing you wonderful, budget-friendly craft decor ideas. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel so that you can see any upcoming videos. And as always, keep crafting.